My name is Officer Davis, and I've been serving as a police officer in our small town for the past 10 years. I've seen my fair share of strange and unsettling things, but nothing could have prepared me for the night that still haunts me to this day. It was a chilly autumn evening when I received a call about a disturbance at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. As I drove towards the location, a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The warehouse had a reputation for being the hub of illegal activities, and I knew I was walking into a potentially dangerous situation. The night was pitch black as I parked my control car near the entrance of the warehouse. I grabbed my flashlight and cautiously approached the building. The sound of footsteps echoed through the silence, and the wind whistled through the broken windows, creating an eerie atmosphere. I pushed open the rusty door and stepped into the darkness, the beam of my flashlight illuminating the dusty interior. As I made my way deeper into the warehouse, a feeling of dread washed over me. It was as if the walls themselves held secrets of dark deeds that had taken place within. I called out, announcing my presence as I navigated the maze of abandoned machinery and crates. The only response was the echo of my own voice, bouncing off the cold concrete walls. My heart pounded in my chest, and a cold sweat formed on my brow. Suddenly, a door creaked open, and a silver light spilled out from the room at the end of the hallway. I cautiously approached, my hand gripping my service weapon tightly. With each step, the feeling of foreboding intensified. I pushed open the door, and what I saw before me made my blood run cold. The room was filled with eerie symbols, scrawled on the walls, lit by flickering candles. In the center of the room stood a group of individuals clad in dark robes, their faces obscured by hoods. I instinctively drew my weapon, my voice shaking as I commanded them to freeze. But instead of complying, they began chanting in a language I couldn't understand. Fear coursed through my veins as I realized I was outnumbered and outmatched, and I could feel a palpable sense of malevolence emanating from the group. I called for backup on my radio, praying that help would arrive in time. But as I waited for assistance, the situation took a chilling turn. The robed figures suddenly fell silent and turned their attention towards me. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural light, and their lips twisted with sinister smiles. Without warning, they lunged towards me. Their movements swift and inhumane. Panic surged through me as I fired my weapon, but it seemed to have no effect on them. It was as if they were impervious to harm. I fought with all my strength, dodging their attacks and trying to find an escape route. In the chaos, I could hear the distant sounds of sirens growing louder, a sign that help was on the way, but in that moment, it felt like an eternity. Just as I thought all hope was lost, the room filled with the blinding lights of flashlight, accompanied by the commanding voice of fellow officers. They rushed in, overpowering the robed figures and apprehending them one by one. As I caught my breath, relief washed over me. My colleagues had arrived in the nick of time, saving me from this unthinkable fate. The robed figures were arrested, and the warehouse was secure as a crime scene. In the days that followed, the investigation uncovered a web of dark rituals and illegal activities that had been taking place in that warehouse. The robed figures were part of a secret cult, engaging in practices that sent shivers down my spine. Though the incident left me shaken, I continued my duties as a police officer, knowing that there were still dangers out there. To this day, the memory of that harrowing experience lingers in my mind, and it serves as a reminder of the darkness that can exist in this world. My name is Officer Rick, and I'm 31 years old. I've been a police officer in our town for the past 5 years. I've seen my fair share of dangerous situations, but nothing could have prepared me for the night that changed my life forever. It was a dark and rainy evening when I received a distress call about a car accident on the outskirts of town. Without wasting a second, I hopped into my patrol car and sped towards the location. The rain battered against my windshield, impairing my vision as I struggled to navigate the slick roads. As I approached the scene, the flashing lights of other emergency vehicles pierced through the darkness. I parked my car and rushed towards the wreckage, the sound of rain drowning out all the noises. My heart pounded in my chest as I prepared myself for the unknown. The accident involved two vehicles, mangled and twisted from impact. The smell of gasoline and burnt rubber filled the air, mixing the scent of rain-soaked asphalt. My stomach turned as I took in the severity of the crash. I approached the first vehicle, its front end crumpled like a soda can. The driver's side was completely crushed. My heart sank as I saw the lifeless body inside. My training kicked in, and I called for an ambulance while trying to assess the situation. The second vehicle had flipped onto its side, glass shattered and metal bent. I saw a figure slumped against the steering wheel, blood running down their face. With a surge of adrenaline, I forced the door open and I carefully extracted the injured driver. As I pulled him out, pain shot through my back, and a searing headache consumed me. Ignoring my own discomfort, I focused on stabilizing the injured driver and providing them with comfort until the paramedics arrived. Minutes felt like hours as we waited for the ambulance to arrive. The rain continued to pour, making the whole scene feel even more surreal. The sound of distant sirens grew louder, offering a glimmer of hope in the midst of the tragedy. Finally, the ambulance arrived, and the paramedics took over, rushing the injured to the hospital. I watched as they disappeared into the night, the weight of the accident settling heavily on my shoulders. In the following days, the reality of the accident sank in. The driver of the first vehicle had lost their life, and the driver in the second vehicle was in critical condition. I couldn't help but feel responsible, wondering if there was anything more I could have done to prevent such a tragic outcome. The accident was thoroughly investigated. It was determined that one of the drivers was under the influence of alcohol. The truth hit me like a ton of bricks. It was a stark reminder of the dangers of drunk driving and the devastating consequences it has. I found myself haunted by the images of that night, the sound of the rain echoing in my ears. I questioned my ability to protect and serve, grappling with the feelings of guilt and inadequacy. Sleep became elusive as nightmares plagued my nights, replaying the accident over and over again. With the support of my fellow officers and professional counseling, I slowly began to heal. It was a long process, but I learned to forgive myself and channel my pain into a greater purpose. In the years since that terrible accident, I have become an advocate for responsible driving, and I've dedicated myself to raising awareness about the dangers of driving under the influence. I share my story with others, hoping that it will serve as a cautionary tale and prevent similar tragedies from occurring. While the accident will be forever etched in my memory, I have learned to use it as a catalyst for change. I strive to make a positive impact on our community, protecting lives and ensuring that no one else experiences the pain and loss that I witnessed that fateful night. Though I still carry the scars of that experience, I have emerged stronger and more determined than ever. As a police officer, I understand that my role extends far beyond enforcing the law. It's about safeguarding lives, making a difference, and never forgetting the importance of every single decision we make on the job. I've been a police officer for many years, protecting the community. I never thought that I would find myself in the middle of a terrifying gunfight, but life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges our way. It was a typical evening patrol when I received a call about a suspicious activity in an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. My partner, who I'll name Rodriguez for privacy reasons, he and I quickly made our way to the location, our hearts pounding with anticipation. As we approached the warehouse, we noticed a group of individuals loitering outside, their behavior raising our suspicions. We cautiously approached, instructing them to disperse and leave the area, but instead of complying, one of them pulled out a gun, a glint of malice in his eyes. Time seemed to slow as the first shot rang out. Instinct kicked in, and I dove for cover, pulling Officer Rodriguez with me. Bullets whizzed past us, piercing the air with a chilling sound. Fear mingled with adrenaline as we realized the severity of the situation. We returned fire, taking careful aim while seeking refuge behind a nearby car. The rapid exchange of gunfire echoed through the night, each shot a reminder of the danger we faced. The darkness provided little visibility, adding to the uncertainty and tension. My heart raced as I heard the sound of bullets striking the car's metal frame, a sobering reminder of how close we were to danger. We communicated through short, concise words, our voices filled with urgency and determination. With each passing moment, I felt a mix of fear and focus. My training kicked in, allowing me to navigate the chaos and make split-second decisions. The adrenaline coursed through my veins, sharpening my senses and heightening my awareness. We could hear the sirens in the distance, a sign that backup was on the way. But in that moment, it felt like an eternity. We knew we had to hold our ground, keep ourselves and the public safe until reinforcements arrived. The gunfight intensified, the sound of gunfire drowning out all other noise. The smell of gunpowder filled the air, mixing with the palpable tension. It was a battle of survival, a fight to protect the innocent from those who sought harm. As we exchanged gunfire, I caught a glimpse of Officer Rodriguez's face, a mix of determination and concern. We locked eyes, silently reassuring each other that we had each other's backs. It was a bond forged in the face of danger. Finally, the sound of approaching sirens grew louder, signaling the arrival of backup. With renewed determination, we pressed forward, using the distraction to gain the advantage. Shots were fired from all directions, the chaos making it difficult to distinguish friend from foe. But amidst the chaos, we managed to neutralize the threat. The remaining suspects either surrendered or fled. Realizing they were outnumbered and outmatched, we took a moment to catch our breaths, our bodies shaking with the adrenaline still coursing through our veins. Backup arrived, securing the area and ensuring the safety of the public. Paramedics tended to the wounded, their presence a stark reminder of the price we paid to keep our community safe. The scene was a sobering testament to the reality of our line of work. As the night came to a close, I couldn't help but reflect on the events that unfolded. The gunfight had tested our skills, our training, and our resolve. It was a reminder that danger can strike at any moment, but we must remain steadfast in our commitment to protect and serve. The scars from that night would linger, a reminder of the risks we face as police officers. But it also served as a reminder of our strength, our resilience, and our unwavering dedication to our duty. I drove home that night with a mix of emotions: gratitude for making it out alive, sorrow for those affected by violence, and a renewed sense of purpose. The gunfight had left a mark on my soul, a reminder of the sacrifices we make in pursuit of justice. In the end, I was proud to be a police officer, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. It was a calling that demanded courage, compassion, and unwavering commitment. And despite the dangers, I wouldn't have it any other way.